2023 was a huge year for country music, record-breaking numbers with endless chart-topping hits, sold-out tours every which way you look, and fresh waves of creativity. This year has really become a defining chapter for country music, reinforcing its enduring appeal and ensuring that the genre's influence continues to echo far and wide. But with success, there seems to always be ups and downs, and well, a few artists within the genre this year found themselves in the middle of what are considered to be the biggest controversies of the year in country music. But hey, they also were some of the most successful because of it. First, we look back at Jason Aldean and the heat wave of Backlash following the release of his hit song Try That in a Small Town, which focused on big city crime waves seemingly sweeping the nation throughout the recent years. Aldean initially released the song back in May of this year, but it wasn't until he released the music video for the song a couple of months later in July when he was struck with unexpected hate. People all over the internet claimed the song had racial undertones and that it promoted violence. Shortly following these accusations, Jason turned to his social media, where he denounced these claims. Jason shared, "In the past 24 hours, I have been accused of releasing a pro-lynching song, a song that has been out since May, and was subject to the comparison that I, direct quote, was not too pleased with the nationwide BLM protests. These references are not only meritless, but dangerous. There is not a single lyric in the song that references race or points to it, and there isn't a single video clip that isn't real news footage. And while I can try and respect others to have their own interpretation of a song with music, this one goes too far. As so many pointed out, I was present at Route 91, where so many lost their lives, and our community recently suffered another heartbreaking tragedy. No one, including me, wants to continue to see senseless headlines or families ripped apart. Try That in a Small Town for me refers to the feeling of a community that I had growing up, where we took care of our neighbors, regardless of differences of background or belief, because they were our neighbors, and that was above any differences. My political views have never been something I've hidden from, and I know that a lot of us in this country don't agree on how we get back to a sense of normalcy where we go at least a day without a headline that keeps us up at night. But the desire for it too. That's what this song is about." Jason Aldean also defended his use of the Maury County Courthouse located in Columbia, Tennessee, which is in the music video of Try That in a Small Town, as the use of the location was also getting the song labeled as a pro-lynching song. In a later interview with People, Jason Aldean told the publication, "I don't go back 100 years and check on the history of a place before we go shoot it either. It's also the place that I go get my car tags every year. It's my county that I live in. If you're in the South, you could probably go to any small town courthouse, and you're going to be hard-pressed to find one that hasn't had some sort of racial issue over the years at some point. I mean, that's just a fact." He concluded by adding, "I would do it over again every time, minus the setting, knowing what I know now. Obviously, knowing that that was going to be a thing, maybe you look at doing it somewhere else. I know what the intentions were behind the location, the video, the song, all of it. And I stand by all that." And before pointing out the ton of success Jason Aldean had with the song, let's not also forget that CMT even pulled down the music video for Try That in a Small Town following all of the backlash. Pretty wild to consider that. But like I said, there was a ton of success. Try That in a Small Town made it all the way to number 1, the number 1 spot on Billboard's Hot 100 chart, which the chart covers all genre, and made it to number 1, making it Jason's first single to ever top Billboard's Hot 100 chart. Fans also made a statement as the song climbed its way to the number 1 position on Apple Music's charts as well. Oh, and here you go, 46 million views on YouTube as well for the music video. It may have been hot for Jason Aldean and his team for a moment, but in the end, Try That in a Small Town quickly became a mega hit. And in no particular order, just on to the second moment of our list is Bud Light. Back in April of this year, Bud Light partnered with transgender TikTok influencer Dylan Mulvaney for a campaign to help promote Bud Light. And following the viral promotion, Anheuser-Busch saw many of their longtime drinkers turn on the beer brand, as well as artists within country music. Artists such as Kid Rock, John Rich, and Travis Tritt. However, others, such as Zach Bryan, defended the brand. Kid Rock first destroyed cases of Bud Light in a viral video clip that he posted onto his social media. John Rich then spoke to Fox News in an interview where he shared that he would no longer be serving the beer at his bar in downtown Nashville. Rich told Fox News, "I think the customers decide. Customers are king. I own a bar in downtown Nashville called Redneck Riviera, and our #1 selling beer up until a few days ago was, guess what? Bud Light. That was the #1 beer. We've got cases and cases of it sitting back there, but in the past several days, you are hard-pressed to find someone ordering one. So, as the business owner, I just go, hey, if you guys aren't going to order it, we've got to put something else in here. At the end of the day, that's capitalism." Now, on the flip side to this, Garth Brooks, who opened his brand new bar, Friends in Low Places, he actually came out and defended selling Bud Light at his bar and that his bar was going to be for everyone and he had no intentions to remove the beer brand from his shelves. And lastly, Travis Tritt turned to his social media where he wrote, "I will be deleting all Anheuser-Busch products from my tour hospitality rider. I know many other artists who are doing the same." Tritt's comments sparked Zach Bryan's reaction, where he turned to his Twitter and wrote, "I mean no disrespect towards anyone specifically. I don't even mind Travis Tritt. I just think insulting transgender people is completely wrong because we live in a country where we can all just be who we want to be. It's a great day to be alive." Bryan later added, "And yo, I don't support transgender people attacking swimmers. I just have family transitioning and have blood to defend here. No one threaten me, please. Absolutely terrifying that saying insulting others is wrong is reason enough for people to get so evil so quick." Even with all of the back and forth between Travis Tritt and Zach Bryan, they were able to meet one another at the Step-In Festival this year where they met face to face. The two talked through their differences of opinions and squashed any belief that the two did not get along with one another over their different beliefs. And Kid Rock, he ultimately clarified his position on the Bud Light controversy during an interview with Sean Hannity, plus we even saw him drinking a Bud Light following all of this. He told Hannity in the interview, "Working class people, they have no dog in this fight at all. I know people that work there and it's not so cool to be wearing around those blue shirts anymore. I can let things go. I thought about this a lot. As a conservative, more importantly a patriot, I don't want to be in the party of cancel culture and boycott that ultimately hurt working class people that have no dogs, especially in this fight." Kid Rock also mentioned that he spoke to the CEO of Anheuser-Busch during a UFC event this year. Rock said, "I told him that night, you signaled to a lot of people like myself, like-minded people, put the trans thing aside for a minute. But by sending that can to Dylan Mulvaney, you kind of signaled to us that you support that lifestyle, and more importantly, like men being in women's sports or in my granddaughter's locker room. Most of us draw a hard line right there." Kid Rock also concluded and shared that he has no issues at all with the transgender and gay community, but that he does not agree with bringing children into the conversation. Now, on to our next topic that also caused quite the conversation, Maren Morris leaving country music. Many fans jumped on the opportunity to say goodbye to Morris after her decision to leave country music and what she described as the toxic part of its community behind. During an interview with the New York Times, Morris told the publication, "I couldn't do this circus anymore, feeling like I have to absorb and explain people's bad behaviors and laugh it off. I just couldn't do that after 2020 particularly. I've changed. A lot of things changed about me that year. Ironically, it was like, she's not country. Look at the way she dresses. Get the hell out of here. You don't belong here. This is not like Dolly. I don't want to say goodbye, but I really cannot participate in the really toxic arms of this institution anymore." Morris also told the LA Times in an interview that she thought she'd like to burn country music to the ground and start over, but that it was burning itself down without her help. However, after making these remarks, Maren Morris later clarified that she was not really leaving country music. During an appearance on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, Morris stated, "That was the headline. Actually, what I said was I'm leaving behind the sort of toxic parts of it. I want to take the good parts with me." So definitely some strong allegations about the country music industry there by Maren Morris. Pretty polarizing with fans on both sides who are fans of Maren Morris and then fans who say she was never even country to begin with. Now, let's get to our last major controversy in 2023. Oliver Anthony. Anthony became a viral sensation overnight after releasing his hit song Richmond, North of Richmond. Richmond, North of Richmond quickly became an anthem across the world, but Anthony did not appreciate the politics that were being wrapped up into the song. Oliver Anthony turned to his YouTube channel where he explained and spoke about Richmond, north of Richmond, being used as a part of a political party or being associated with political candidates. Here is what Anthony had to say.
The one thing that has bothered me is seeing people wrap politics up into this. I'm disappointed to see, like, it's aggravating seeing people on conservative news try to identify with me like I'm one of them. It's aggravating seeing certain musicians and politicians act like we're buddies and act like we're fighting the same struggle here, like that we're trying to present the same message. You know, I've had a lot of people reach out to me, and I've tried to be polite to everybody, and I've talked to hundreds of people the last 2 weeks. But it seems like certain people want to just ride the attention of this song to maybe make them their own selves relevant, and that's aggravating as hell. The other thing that I find aggravating is, well, you know, like, it was funny seeing my song in the, it was funny seeing it at the presidential debate, because it's like, I wrote that song about those people, you know? So for them to have to sit there and listen to that, that cracks me up. But it was funny kind of seeing the response to it. Like, that song has nothing to do with Joe Biden, you know? It's a lot bigger than Joe Biden. That song is written about the people on that stage, and a lot more too, not just them, but definitely them. It's cool seeing some of my other music come out, because people are, I guess, starting to appreciate and understand what it is I'm really trying to say. It's hard to get a message out about your political ideology or your belief about the world in 3 minutes and some change. But I do hate to see that song being weaponized. Like, I see the right trying to characterize me as one of their own, and I see the left trying to discredit me, I guess in retaliation. That shit's got to stop. If you watch the response videos on YouTube to this song, it's not conservative people responding to the song. It's not even necessarily Americans responding to the song. I don't know that I've seen anything get such positive response from such a diverse group of people. And I think that terrifies the people that I sing about in that song. And they've done everything they can the last 2 weeks to make me look like a fool, to spin my words, to try to stick me in a political bucket. And they can keep trying, but I'm just going to keep on writing.
In addition to the politics aligning themselves with the song, Oliver Anthony was also keeping the country music industry on their toes, as he was becoming a sensation and super successful with no help from the labels, plus turning down million-dollar deals. Oliver Anthony maintained his character and kept his word as he navigated the rough waters of the industry independently and still landed a #1 song. And not to mention, Oliver Anthony was the first artist to ever land #1 on Billboard's Hot 100 chart without ever having any prior charting history. Even though some artists like Maren and Jason Aldean called out Oliver Anthony for the lyrics in his song, saying that they called out certain groups of folks in the nation, well, they attempted to denounce his name in country music. Many have embraced Oliver Anthony. Anthony is on his way to a world tour next year and has already made his Grand Ole Opry debut. And he is also working on his debut album, which is very highly anticipated for next year. Oliver Anthony is proof independent artists have a place in this business, and really more so than ever. But y'all, again, 2023 was a huge year for country music. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever forget the great success of the genre from this year. Regardless of the controversies that were faced, country music really is in the best spot, I think, that it has ever been. Of course, we would love to know you guys' thoughts on this down below in the comments. As always, thank y'all for tuning in here at CountryCast. That will be all for today's video.